I quit my job. And in this video, I will show you how you can do it as well. This was the worst intro. Fears. We all have them. There are numerous social fears these days. Some have difficulties to speak in front of a group. Another person is in love, but she does not dare to reveal her true feelings. And others again are dissatisfied with their lives, but they are too afraid to change their current situation. The latter also applied to me as well. I was afraid to give up my security. I was super dissatisfied with my job. I was frustrated with the working hours, the payment, and a real passion for the job. I did not have that either. Fears paralyze us. As a result, most people do not dare to take any initiative. Most people would rather be unhappy than risk uncertainty. I myself had thought about my job for far too long and kept putting it off. Maybe something will change in a week, in a month, or maybe a year. But nothing changed. And finally, I gathered enough courage and resigned. I overcame my fear and took the risk to start a new career, to pursue a happy life. First, I defined my fear. The following question from the book The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss helped me tremendously. Define your worst nightmare. What is the absolute worst case scenario that could happen if I quit my job to start YouTube? I am temporarily not financially secure, so my savings will decrease. Friends and family might criticize my decision and don't support me. It could also be bad for my future career if there's a pause on my resume. And the worst of all, my channel becomes monetized and I have to deal with taxes and German bureaucracy. Would these situations be the end of the world? Probably not. How big would the damage be, and is it possible to minimize risk? Financially, you could reduce your job to a part-time or even mini job to at least cover your daily expenses. I myself have saved some money and I reduced my standard of living. I no longer own a car and have moved into a flat share. Regarding your environment, you can explain them the whole situation. If you are really unhappy, true friends and family will respect your decision and even support you. Also, I don't see the break in your resume as a gap. In fact, you have a special ambition, which sets you apart from the competition. Every employee knows how much self-employed people work, and even more, how disciplined they are. If an employer views something like this negatively, then it's actually me who will question the employee. The taxes and the German bureaucracy is the final enemy, but I am sure a solution can be found for this as well. So on a scale of 1 to 10, the worst case scenario would be a temporary 3 to 4. If we compare this risk with the possible best consequence, then a lasting positive change awaits us. We live our dream job, financial freedom, being able to work anywhere in the world. You can organize your time by yourself. You are your own boss. And most important, you can afford an accountant. The best solution would literally blow up the scale and would be at least a 9 or even a full 10. Therefore, define your fear and you will find that even the worst possible event might not be that bad. At the same time, you can easily undo this by starting a job in your old profession again. But also think about how it affects your own personal health. If you continue to torture yourself to work every day for the next 40 years in a job which you do not even like. And that brings us to the second point. Choose the lesser evil. Imagine you have to give a presentation, you're extremely scared, but when your teacher calls you, you pull yourself together and stand in front of the group. Why? The fear of the consequence to skip the presentation is greater than giving the presentation itself. You could get scolded by the teacher, have to explain the situation to your parents, and endure numerous stares and comments from your classmates. Giving the presentation is the lesser evil. With my career change, it was the same principle. My biggest fear is regret. The fear of being unhappy for the next 40 years in my current job and later regretting not having done anything about it is way worse for me than taking the risk of pausing my current career. By the way, did you know that social anxiety is only in your ahead. Fear always relates to an event in the future. This anxiety paralyzes us and unfortunately destroys more dreams than failure ever will. This is exactly why exercising and meditation have such a positive effect on it, because you learn to concentrate on the here and now. Fear reduction through confrontation. If you look back at scary situations, you realize that they weren't that bad at all. Every time you confront your fears, such a situation becomes more bearable. The fear itself does not necessarily decrease. We are getting braver. Even experienced speakers are nervous when they go on stage, even though they have already given hundreds of presentations. However, they have faced their fears so often that they believe in themselves. So no matter how uncomfortable this step is, if you want to overcome your fear, you will eventually have to face your fears. If you keep running away, then it can't get any better. And you learn to avoid such situations. Therefore, the next time when you're afraid of a situation, imagine your worst nightmare. Think about the consequences of not acting, and you will find it easier to go ahead and confront your fears than regret your life in retrospect. This opens numerous new doors for you, and you get a huge step closer to your dream life. So, be smarter than me and take your life into your own hands early on. And if you still need help to motivate yourself, then be sure to take a look here at how you get out of a motivational rut.